mother. We're going to put a little light on the subject here.
Oh, shit.
Writing it up. There we go.
There we go.
Hopefully you got a chance to...
We'll have to fire that lighting guy.
Hopefully you got a chance to enjoy some of the football without having to worry about the Eagles.
Stress-free Sunday, man.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some really good football. We saw some really bad football. There was a lot of, I think, surprises for some stuff. The only consistent thing is the Chargers going to find a way to lose. But this is what we're going to do. So, I know we wanted to kind of go through the Giants coming up, who played very well against Washington. Which
they've been playing very well each week, though.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those states where they're a young team with a new coach who you can see improvements with some stuff. I don't think they're as good as they looked in the first half of Washington. I think the second half is more like them. I mean,
if Saquon was playing, I think we're chasing them as far as the front runners in the division. The way their defense is playing, I think you don't have a reliable running back, so and to calm Daniel Jones down. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think the most impressive thing that I saw yesterday was weird. I thought, and the commentators made a note of this. One of the best plays Daniel Jones made yesterday was when he got sacked, because all year he pulled the ball out, making sack, it starts flying everywhere. He felt the pressure, knew he couldn't get rid of it, and kind of pulled it back in. And it avoided a fumble. And that's the small things with a young quarterback. Like Daniel Jones is in his second year. We're going to talk a little about the young quarterbacks around the league, too, because the NFL with the quarterbacks is in really good hands.
Well, you got the triplets. You got version 1 in Seattle, version 2 in Arizona, now version 3 in Miami.
Well, the triplets was Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson.
Oh, yeah. Well, these are new triplets. Yeah. These are literally the mini version of triplets. Like none of these guys are above 6 foot. It's crazy.
Well, no, Justin Herbert's like 6'3".
No, I'm talking about Russell Wilson, Murray, and Tua. Those are my triplets. They're about the height of this damn action figure, and they're just exciting and fun to watch.
That whole, if you're a short quarterback, you can't play. Yeah, that's cool. And it started with some, short quarterbacks, but going from Drew Brees to Kyler to Russell to Tua, you can play. Yeah. It might be a little different to play quarterback under 6 feet, but you definitely can do it.
Right.
Start talking about the Giants. I guess we can continue with that, and kind of go into. Actually, you know what? Let's just go through the whole second half.
Okay.
Do a little bit of a second half preview. We can focus a little bit more on the Giants and the Eagles as well, because just like how the Giants seem to be putting some stuff together, the Eagles are getting healthier as well. But with that being said, we got 8 games left.
Yes.
The Cowboys looked a lot better. The Giants looked a lot better. Are the Cowboys a threat? No, I don't think so. However,
our biggest threat are ourselves.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If we have 4 turnovers and all that, forget it. But, and that's what I kind of want to get into as far as with the Birds, because it looks like they're going to have Sanders back. They're going to have Sayamalu back. They're going to have Jeffrey back. Now they have Dallas Goedert. Now they have Lane Johnson, who looks like he's had a couple weeks to kind of heal up. Hopefully he has that there. Jason Peters is there. You found something in Mailata where he can handle both the left and right side at a serviceable level, and you can have some confidence there. There's going to be, now I'm not sure how much Jeffrey's going to play, but obviously you got Ward and Fogelman, and now you got like Zach Ertz will be coming back for the end of the year as well. So that's a lot of pieces of offense. Do you think that we are going to start to see, and because I know it's not just on this, start to see a Eagles offense that we expected?
I think it'll eventually happen. I think people hear all those names, and they think, "Oh my God, they're all coming back. Giants, we're gonna put up 35 points."
Oh no!
Yada 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 yada.
We might, but if we do, it's probably 35-28.
We're not. Isaac Seumalo, he was just activated today. So as the 21 practice window, with that, it's up and down because I've seen to where it's taken people so far with the Eagles 21 days when that's activated, and I've also seen them take it 3 days. So we'll see. I expect him. I don't expect him back for the Giants game. I do not.
Right.
I expect him to either be back against Cleveland or Seattle, which would be also a major help. Ertz, I think will be back roughly maybe around New Orleans or Arizona.
And I know it's not going to work this way. I actually would like to slowly work Ertz in as opposed to just making him start right away, because right now I think that Wentz is going to have better chemistry with Rich Rod and Goddard than Ertz.
I don't think. I'll say Rich Rod, but it definitely looked like he had a better chemistry with Goddard when they were both out there earlier in the season. The first 2 games of the season, he definitely did. Almost doubled the targets and everything, and I think a lot of that was because of and to be fair to Ertz, I know as a city and as a fan base, we've been really hard on him this year, especially myself. I think that's why Goddard was able to get open because he was taking that coverage away. But with that being said, kind of like you said, it's not going to happen. Ertz is going to get thrown in there whenever he's ready right away. And it's the same thing, even though it's not popular, especially with me. I think the same thing is going to happen with Alshon. But I don't see Fulgham getting benched. No. I see Ward getting benched. And
Ward's still going to play the slide.
No, he's not. Because that means, are you going to bench Rieger or Fulgham for Alshon? Because they're going to start Alshon. So once again, either Fulgham or Rieger is going to play the slide.
Who's making the decision?
Huh? It's probably Dougie. Or it's either Dougie or Howie. You're not going to pay. Listen, they're not going to let $11 million, even though $11 million sit on the bench. And Fulgham, that is a catastrophe if you bet Fulgham. And Rieger, neither one of them are as fast as Rieger. So
if it's Howie, Fulgham's going to get less snaps. He's not going to be benched, but he's going to get a lot less snaps because you got to get the first round pick and the big money guy.
But you're also got to go with. There's going to have to be some give and take. You're going to actually have to have your best receiver on this team, on the field, who absolutely 100% is Fulgham. You're going to have your
So far,
he's probably been the best receiver the Eagles have had since 2017.
Which was Alshon Jeffrey, and he's back. That would be the argument that Howie Roseman would make.
I got you. And that's why I'm saying Fulgham is not going to take the bench. I'm telling you right now. Greg Ward is the odd man out.
We got to make the best receiver. Well, yes. So
Greg Ward is the odd man out.
So you're going to make Travis Fulgham then play slot?
It's either going to be Fulgham or Rieger. I don't know that. I don't know which one is going to. If it were up to me, I do agree with you.
Oh, if it's up to you, Alshon Jeffrey would have been driven somewhere else.
Right. But what I'm saying is what I think is going to happen in the first game against the Giants, I think it's going to be almost like a Deshaun thing with Alshon. He's going to be on the pitch count.
Oh, yeah.
Per se.
I thought you meant just like they were going to have the first complete design.
They may, but no. But they're going to have him on a pitch count. I think by the time Cleveland and Seattle come around, that's when you're going to really see, okay, where it's going to be at. And I think the pitch count's going to kind of, by Seattle, I think the pitch count's going to be going.
Oh, yeah.
So, with that being said, I personally think there's going to be some give and take because Doug, I think, is going to push back a little. I think Jeffrey is, and I mean as Jeffrey Lurie, is going to be like, yo, we need the best team. He's livid about how this team is playing right now, regardless of the injuries.
Right.
I would put Fulgham in the slot just because it would almost match what we had in 2017 with a speedy guy on the outside, Rieger, possessive receiver on the outside, Alshon, and then kind of a speedy, bigger receiver in the slot. But for that, if I was, but now if it was up to AJ himself, as you said, Alshon would probably be my fourth receiver. I would put him again above Hightower, but yeah, he would get in just to give one of either Rieger or Fogel a spell.
I will say this. I mean, not necessarily it's a good problem to have, but it's a better problem to have a professional receiver that you got to figure out how to work in, rather than the alternative, which is which person you're pulling up in the practice squad.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
Now, just looking ahead, initially for the second half of the year, if I remember correctly, you had the Eagles going 5-3, finish 8-7-1.
The last 5 games, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Do you still feel confident in that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, 100%.
See, I feel slightly less confidence. I feel 7-8-1.
I could see that happening.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, listen, we
definitely.
But I think this team wins their 3 division games and beats the Browns, and I think that's it. Although I don't think it's impossible for them to beat the Seahawks or the Cardinals, and I think they'll have a good shot to beating both of them. I mean, the only game that I think that I'm very confident in saying the Eagles aren't going to win right now is against the Saints. I just don't think it's a good matchup at all. As long as the Drew Brees and the receivers and with Michael Thomas back and all that, I don't see that being a great matchup. But with that being said, that's why I said highly unlikely you beat the Browns, you beat the Seahawks, you beat the Cardinals, you beat the Giants, you beat the Cowboys, you beat Washington, and you beat the Packers. The Packers are another team that because Aaron Rodgers does have some clunkers in games. I don't see that, but it could happen. I mean, but I think you're setting yourself up for failure if you think this team has a better than 50% chance of beating the Packers or the Saints. Honestly, mobile quarterback seems to be this team's Achilles heel, or a Jim Schwartz defense Achilles heel. It seems to be mobile quarterbacks. So Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson will be no problems too. My thing with the Seahawks is that their defense is so bad that if our offense does what it can do, we can outscore. Cardinals defense, the run defense is actually pretty decent, and they got some playmakers in the backfield. So that's rough. And I know home field, away field, all that doesn't even matter as much. You still got to travel and stuff. Traveling to Arizona still is something that you got to take into effect as well. But either way, I mean, I still think not only is this division what they're taking, I would be disappointed if the Eagles, not angry, but I would be disappointed if they didn't win this division.
They're going to win this division. I agree with you as far as the 3 divisional games. I definitely feel that we win them. We are on 2 completely, not just edge of the planet. We are on 2 different galaxies when it comes to that New Orleans.
Really?
What is New Orleans? Regardless, I know last night because everybody laughed. Listen, man. Tampa took New Orleans too lightly, and New Orleans came in ready to punch them in the mouth. That's all it was. What is New Orleans' Achilles heel every year? Honestly, what is that?
I mean, to me, the first thing that comes to me is that they're a totally different team away at home.
Okay.
And
so
they are playing in Philly.
But not just, but they're in the wintertime, and it's not only the simple fact that they're playing in Philly, it's their 3rd straight road game. Their 3rd straight road game that they play. That's where I think the upset happens with them. I do agree with you with the Schwartz defense. Because we like to rush forward, blah, blah, blah. The elusive quarterbacks. Is Drew Brees elusive?
No, but
and Michael Thomas against Darius Slay, I think Slade takes away Michael Thomas. And if we're able to get to Drew Brees, which his offensive line is
Yeah, they're average. Yeah.
they're average, and the way our D-line is playing, and if there has been a bright spot on this team, is the D-line has been playing really well. If we could drop back 7 and rush for it and get to Drew Brees with 4 on a third straight road game, with the potential of having the aforementioned 3 receivers that we completely enjoy, having that other dude that we really don't like back, having Hightower, having Ertz, having Goddard, having Sanders, having Boston Scott, having a healthy O-line.
Could this Eagles team go 7-1, even 8-0? Could they? Yes. I could lose 50 pounds in 3 months with the holidays coming up. Is it likely? No. But realistically, if you expect this team to win 4 to 5 games, that's very realistic.
Especially 3 of them being in our
division. Yeah, so seeing them go 4-4, 5-3, this
definitely more realistic.
Absolutely, and as you call him, dipshit Doug turns into December Doug.
Here's the thing: as bad and inconsistent we have been, we are 3-5-1. I'm sorry, 3-4-1. Sorry, 3-4-1. We are 3-4-1. I hope that's not a precursor.
Yeah, let's say easy.
Right, 3-4-1. And as inconsistent as we've been, and as bad as we've looked at times, if Carson just plays average, and if Doug just coaches average, we could actually go 5-3, 6-2 in these last 8 games. That's what's crazy.
I will say one more thing, just about as you mentioned Carson. People are talking about benching Carson and all that. We discussed that and all that. But I do think one thing, and I heard this, was interesting. Donovan McNabb has been making his rounds doing some interviews, and I'm kind of neutral on McNabb, but I don't think he threw any type of hate or I thought he was just very, very honest. But in one of his interviews, and it wasn't the most recent one in Philly, he had said something about when Andy Reid thought I was being careless, I noticed we ran the ball more. And that was kind of Andy's way of like a semi-benching. With Miles Sanders, first off, we should run the ball more anyway once we get Miles Sanders back, in my opinion. But I think that if Doug is going to play this smart, and if Carson is being reckless, don't flip out if Doug runs power right on 3rd and 8, because I think he's proven a point to Carson.
I would probably pass out.
And just shop.
Yes.
Yeah, I would too.
I would too. If Brad Childress or Frank Reich were on this coaching staff, and any Eagles fan knows,
right?
Brad Childress was Andy Reid's in his ear. But with Marty Morningweg, Mr. Pass Happy himself, Doug Peterson, Mr. Pass Happy himself, the ball from San Francisco that they got was a passing coordinator. You can also you have all these dudes that all they want to do is pass. It's more than unlikely. Donovan to piggyback what you said. Ike Reese said that also. Trey Thomas said that also. He remembers when Donovan in I want to say 03 was struggling, had a bad, it was literally costing the Eagles games, and they were mediocre at best. Literally took the ball away from Donovan and relied and actually created a 3-headed monster, which I thought they should have added when they had T.O. and beyond. And if you're not sure who the 3-headed monster was, it was Deuce, Westbrook, and Buckholter. And they were really, really, they ended up leading the league in rushing that year.
Yeah.
So I don't think we go full 3-headed monster, but I definitely feel that you go more. But that would be common sense football, right. And it's obvious without Frank Reich that Doug doesn't have that. So
get into our picks, there is something that I've heard that's like that I love, that a personality in Philadelphia does, Anthony Gargano.
Okay.
He does this thing where he'll ask 5 questions, something like to do with sports, something you know, and has someone else kind of just give their 5.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that with you.
Okay.
All right. So, who, in your opinion, is the best quarterback in Eagles history, not named McNabb?
I'm going to say Randall, and this is why I say Randall. The reason why I say Randall is I'm not one of these people that sit there and try to say, "Oh, this one he was better than this one, or he did it." I did not. I saw Jaworski play. That would probably be the go-to, but I didn't see Jaworski physically play enough. I have vague memories of like his last 2 years with the Eagles. So you get what I'm saying? So that's unfair to Jaworski. What my eyes have seen and watched, I would have to go Randall. Because Randall was the Eagles quarterback for 10 years. I put in the simple fact that his best offensive, in his prime, his best offensive coach was Rich Kotite. He was never molded, and yet we were always 10-6. We were always 9-7. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, we didn't win playoff games with him as our starter, but we were always in the playoff hunt. You get what I'm saying? So
the correct answer is North Van Brocklin. I will say this. This is the one thing.
Did you see North Van Brocklin play?
I seen it on YouTube. I can't give a straight face. I will say this.
That's that bullshit.
I will say this, okay? For people that complain about quarterback play and all this other stuff, the fact that the best quarterback
in Eagles history averaged like 6 passes a game
didn't win a playoff game. Beyond that.
How many playoff games did we win before freaking 19? We won.
Well, actually, I'll take that back. He won one. He was the quarterback when we beat the Saints, correct?
He was not the starter, no. Oh, yeah.
In like 92?
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes, he did win a playoff game. Yes.
Yeah. So
I was thinking, yes, he did win one. Yes.
But, yeah, I mean, but
then we ran into the Cowboy juggernaut.
Yeah, but that's telling. Favorite wrestler of all time?
My personal favorite wrestler.
Favorite WWE wrestler of all time?
My personal favorite.
Yes.
Not
best, favorite.
My favorite?
Yes.
It's Triple H.
And this will still be part of this 2-part.
Okay.
Favorite wrestler that is not named Ric Flair, that was not considered associated with the WWE. Did not cut their teeth in the WWE. So that could be WCW. When I say that could be WCW, that could be NWA, that could be what is going on now with NXT, AEW.
Now, real quick, would that count? Because would that count that little 2-year stint that Sting had? Is that
no?
Or are you saying that never wrestled in WWE?
No. Like for example, okay, the Road Warriors. Yes, they were in WWE, but they were popular before they got there. The WWE
Yeah.
Sting was popular before he had that little stint in WWE. Ric Flair is not to me a WWE.
No, he was the NWA.
Yeah. His career is bigger than the WWE.
Yeah. So outside of Ric Flair, my personal favorite. Yeah. Oh man, you know what? I never really thought about that. So give me a few seconds.
Sure, and I will say this just to kind of go on the flip side of that.
Who was yours?
Like to me, it was DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. But I'm a '90s kid. Bang. But you know, like now, and I just disqualify him because I feel it's pretty even. It would be Chris Jericho, but I feel Jericho did get a lot of notoriety.
Jericho actually got
a lot bigger
with WWE. So yeah.
So like for example,
oh man, so
and that's where I'm going. Like the Undertaker wrestled at WCW, but he wasn't known. You know what I mean? Right. So we're not doing that.
I got you. I know Dusty
Rhodes, good one. Okay,
Dusty. I
the hard times.
I almost went Nikita, but and reason why I went with Nikita is because in the 80s, if you were walking down the hallway and you heard Russian Sickle, you better duck because we would just randomly just clothesline each other in the hallway. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say, the man that slept in alleys and ate pork and beans and wanted to dine with kings and queens. So I'm gonna have to go with Dusty.
Okay.
So that's question 2.
That's question 2. Question 3.
Okay.
Not your favorite.
Not my favorite.
Most impactful Sixer after Julius for the Sixers.
After Julius?
After Julius. So we're talking essentially, 85 on? Past 35 years.
You're going to say Iverson. Not just the Sixers. You could almost say impactful NBA-wise. Iverson. Just the trend that he set. Like, Cats really didn't have cornrows. Cats didn't have tattoos. Cats... Even Kobe, all these Cats didn't go against the grain the way Iverson did. You'd have to go with Iverson.
I'd go Larry Hughes.
Shut the fuck up.
Because if we didn't draft Larry Hughes, then you don't have Dirk's career in Dallas. You don't have Paul Pierce's career in Boston. Okay. Iverson too. I'm just trying to figure out something else. Although I will say this. I think that Barkley's as far as impactful as far as what he did, and he was the initial. He was one of the first stretch forwards in what he did. That
he's my favorite player of all time.
Right.
So.
But yeah, I'd go Iverson too.
Yeah.
Question 4. Okay. When it comes to who is your favorite Eagle that played on a bad team? When I say that, I mean, I'm not talking about he played on one bad team and then saw a bunch of notoriety. Like, who's your favorite Eagle that probably doesn't get the respect he deserves because they never went to a Super Bowl, they never won a bunch of playoff games?
He just cut my list. I was going to with B-Dog because he was on the 3 and 13.
Right. No,
we're
not talking about
B-Dog.
I'll give you a prime example, like a Bill Burney type guy who played all those teams. People love him, but he never really played on a really successful.
No, I can't go Reggie. God rest his soul, because he went in as a Packer. Even though he cut his teeth here. I'm gonna have to go with the carnivore. I'm gonna have to go with Seth Joyner. I'm gonna have to go with Seth Joyner. Should be if people just want to go off numbers, why people go in the Hall of Fame. Just to give you, Brian Urlacher's in the Hall of Fame. Seth Joyner across the board has better stats than Brian Urlacher. So, Zach Thomas is considered one of the better linebackers in the 90s.
Zach Thomas should be in the Hall of Fame.
Right, but
Seth Joyner
couldn't hold a candle to Seth Joyner. Seth Joyner, the carnivore boy. Seth Joyner was a monster, yo.
Yeah, and it's my surprise you used my introduction to what a wide receiver was supposed to be as far as in the Eagles uniform.
Okay. Mike Quick? No, Mike Quick was dope. You know what I mean? He definitely was
and I
dope.
think if he has a longer career, you're looking at possibly all of it. Or I should not with injury, but you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So that was my 4th question. Okay. Number 5.
Okay.
Your favorite place to get a cheesesteak? Not no Patagino stuff. Your favorite place to get a cheesesteak? If someone came up to you and said, "Never had a cheesesteak before," where should I go?
I'll possibly Max's.
Yeah, it's a shame Max's doesn't exist anymore. So probably.
D'Alessandro's.
Okay, D'Alessandro's. Nice.
I didn't know Max's.
Yeah, man. Max's is the first place
that's such a good neighborhood.
Yeah, right. Max's is the first place that I walked into that I was like, "Yeah, let me get a cheesesteak." They were like, "Oh, we got a special. Cheesesteak and Heineken, $5." Bro, I was 16 years old. I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah, I would have to go D'Alessandro's then.
D'Alessandro's is awesome. Okay, if you don't know, if you're not D'Alessandro's across the board is one of the top 5 places.
Yeah.
At one time for me it would have been Tony Luke's, but they get it a little.
Yeah.
But all right.
And as far as cheesesteaks, you got to go there. But hoagies, you may want to go Primo.
Primo's dope. Primo
but
has
their
a decent
cheesesteaks are
Nah.
but their hoagies are really good. Especially, man, I love me a classic. Boy, I love me an Italian from Primo.
And you know what? There's a spot that I'm going to take you to that you've never been to. But someone took me to it. Excellent food. As far as the cheesesteak, it's so big that you have to come in with a fork, like literally. Place a spot called Gooey Louie's.
Gooey Louie's, okay.
So, but all right,
that would be a really good question for Mike and Mayfair.
Yes,
that would be a really good question. Shout out to Mike and Mayfair.
We gonna
it's our number one.
Yeah, number one critic. Sure.
Yes.
So we're going to go to the picks. And you know what? I'm going to actually post those 5 questions on our Facebook page as well, so that way you guys can comment on it too.
Okay, awesome. With the picks, I made a valiant comeback last week. We both were 9-4, but compared to what I did the week before, I was shit.
So we were 500.
The week before, it was some shit.
We were 500 committed.
No. What I mean was we were, overall together, like we were both 9-4.
So you lost by 10 as opposed to 21.
A 9-4 record is good. Would you love the Eagles to be 9-4?
Not if but you lost last week. Right?
And then they went on a run and ended up 9-4. I would be happy.
9-4? No, they went on a run and they won 1 week.
It's a comeback.
So
1 week at a time. That's
so we're week 10. This is the first week that you've even drawn even with me. So
you're a fucking liar because I was only
I am a liar.
I was only down by 2 games on you.
You were actually
coming into last week. I was down 2 games.
Yeah, well, so 2 weeks ago, 3. Yeah.
Regardless,
the point is that
I had a Carson Wentz versus Dallas Cowboys week.
No, you still won. But anyway, so we're gonna start with the Thursday night game, which I think is actually a pretty decent game. Indianapolis against Tennessee.
Indianapolis versus at Tennessee. I'm going to go Tennessee 27-21.
I got Tennessee 24-17. And we'll see. I do think Indianapolis defense is good, but I think they're starting to get exposed. The Texans at the Browns.
I'm going Cleveland 28-24.
Yeah, what I saw out of the Texans, their defense just got awful beyond that.
So you're going Cleveland?
So I'm going Cleveland 31-17. Okay. The Washington football team against Detroit.
I'm going Washington. Their defensive line is.
I'm going Detroit. I think Stafford will have a chance to practice. He was on the COVID list all week. 21-13. Mr. Luke for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, actually, looked all right, but he's going against Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay 34-13.
I have Green Bay 35-16. Okay. Tampa Bay against Carolina.
I think Tampa Bay bounced back 28-24.
Right score, wrong team.
Ooh.
I think Carolina goes and shows what a team does. And I think that you'll see Tom Brady just, keep on trying to feed Antonio Brown. And see, I think it's going to take a little while.
Teddy Bridgewater just feeds McCaffrey.
No, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is great. Okay. I remember. There's that guy that you didn't want, Robbie Anderson, who was on that team.
Oh shit! I'm still pissed about that shit. Could you? Could you imagine? Like, say the injuries happen, whatever. They started to pull Fogle up, Robbie Anderson, Fogle, Rob.
But we got Alshon. Denver at Las Vegas.
Denver at Las. I got Vegas winning 28-27. Denver does show some fight.
They do. Yeah, I got Vegas winning 31-20. I just think Vegas at home is the way better team. This is going to be a really, really fun game. Battle of the first round picks. Chargers against the Dolphins.
Oh, Miami win. Miami's on a roll, man. Tua got them play. I mean, even though Fitzpatrick had them playing pretty good, Tua just is his own.
You see why they made the change.
Yeah, absolutely. I got Miami 30-24.
I have Miami 34-31. I think it's really close to the Chargers lose. It's another heartbreaker. Yep. Buffalo at Arizona.
I'm going Arizona 30-27. last week when I predicted Miami, Arizona to be the game of the week. I think this is going to be the game of the week.
I wouldn't be surprised. Arizona, I think, wins 28-24. That's going to be low scoring for them. But Seattle at the Rams.
I'm going Seattle 30-27. The only reason I have it close is because it's a divisional game.
Yeah, I got Seattle 38-34. They don't have to travel West Coast again. I think they'll be okay. 49ers at New Orleans.
New Orleans 30-17.
Yeah, New Orleans 31-13. San Fran, they're just done. There's too many injuries. That has potential to be really interesting. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
Upset special. Woo, woo, woo. Cincinnati 28-27.
I think that would be correct if it wasn't for the fact Pittsburgh had such a bad game against Dallas. I think that's the worst thing that could happen to Cincinnati. I think Pittsburgh wins 34-28. Baltimore at New England. Sunday night.
Baltimore 27-17.
I think Baltimore wins 31-21. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think it's, even though it's a 10-point win, the Patriots will show.
I think it's going to be closer. The only reason I think it's easy, it's a 10-point swing. I think Baltimore's defense is going to at least force 3 to 4 turnovers and maybe even score twice.
Oh, wow. Minnesota, Monday night at Chicago.
Minnesota, Dalvin Cooks will beat the Chicago Bulls 24-21.
I have Minnesota winning as well, but I think Dalvin Cook has a so-so game. This just smells like a Kirk Cousins game.
I ain't gonna lie. Listen, man. Chicago's defense is good.
It is, but when you expect Kirk Cousins to be awful, that's when when there's no pressure. All of a sudden, he plays well, and there's no pressure on him. So I'm not saying he's going to be a good quarterback for the rest of the year, but this just smells like a Kirk Cousins shows out, and this is why we paid him the money, type game. And now we get to a game that it's always a close game. It goes to show the rivalry, man. Eagles at the Giants. And the Giants are showing. I mean, they showed it against us. Honestly, the Giants, for the most part, have shown some fight. They've just been undermanned. I think it's going to be really interesting. What you thought?
I think it's definitely going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a close game. I think honestly, if we didn't have the bye week, we could have probably lost. We may lose this game. But I definitely think that the Eagles were able to take that. All right, we got through that. And I think we're going to see. Hopefully, I'm glass half full in it again. Hopefully, some of the dipshit and the overcompensating between our quarterback and coach kind of takes a little bit of a backseat. I'm not saying completely cure all, but I definitely still think it's going to be a close game. I'm going Philadelphia. I'm going our Birds 24-23.
I think it's going to be a really close game too. Not as close as you. I think this is one of those games where we're going to be frustrated by our defense. I think our offense is going to do fine. I still think Carson is going to have a turnover, but I don't think it's going to be one of those drive you nuts Carson turnovers. I anticipate Doug being a little smarter, and I think that we win because the Giants fail on the 2-point conversion. 28-26. So, there you go. I mean, that's the show. We went on a long tangent about a bunch of the other things, too, which was great. It was great to talk about other stuff, the Eagles. I mean, listen, the past 2 weeks, it's just been killing the team, and they're starting to get some healthy stuff. I hope we're coming back here going, man, this is the team that we wanted to see, and they just do some things against the Giants. But we'll see, man. Any parting shots beyond, of course, like, subscribe, that kind of stuff.
Of course, like, subscribe, and I agree with you. I hope the bye week was a cure-all. I don't see it, but I hope it is. But like I said, if Dougie just coaches average and Carson just plays average, I think we can actually go on a nice little run. And once again, I hate to repeat myself, but
Right. So you don't think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl?
Huh?
The Eagles aren't going to the Super Bowl? They with Derrick Henry, right? So it will be the Eagles against the Titans.
No.
Oh, no, why? I mean, Derrick Henry's amazing. Why can't he? He single-handedly.
He took him to the AFC Championship.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
And he didn't? Let's be real, did he?
No, he didn't. He was. I'm sorry, I can't just take the other side just because. Yes, he did. He had one of the top 5 greatest playoff performances in the history of the NFL. I can't do the Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith thing. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I can't, people.
That was. I
will say this: we're going to do a bet segment. We're actually going to do it a little earlier. I know I got some complaints about us posting our bets picks segment like 2 hours before the game starts because the line changed so much.
Right.
So you want to have this up by Thursday?
Friday the latest.
Okay. And the idea, he doesn't watch college. I'll put up 1 or 2 college states. He'll just tell me if I'm right or wrong with my views on it. But we're going to mostly stick on NFL. And as we know, the point spread can change a little bit, so we're going to be educated about it. This is fantasy football stuff. So get an opportunity when you see these big segments. Take them when you can. We got the Carson up there. He's doing his thing.
Go Birds.
And let me tell you, we'll see him wearing a ball cap that's going to be around the sideline. Go Birds! Like and subscribe. See you next week.